Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whenever that you may be tuning in. This is Yonks, and this is our iLOCAL FYI working group. So on the screen here, we have our agenda. This is where we have been facilitating the pre-launch conversations. Our pre-launch conversations began in December here and have been underway. Took a couple weeks off there for ETH Denver and great time. Absolutely enjoyed connecting with friends here in person around what we're building in 2025 and beyond. So iLOCAL FYI. So I shared the Google. There's a decent amount of subtabs here within this Google document. We're in the pre-launch section under 2025 Q1, and the link in the agenda should direct you for this subtab here. So one of the things that we're going to talk about here did a decent amount of updates, and let me go down to our agenda. So let me actually discuss the goals subtab. So this is right here, goals subtab. So this is where I've made a decent amount of updates surrounding our plans. And one of the main things with iLOCAL.fyi that we're wanting to accomplish is to open source templates and playbooks that foster local cooperative ownership. And there's really two primary mechanics that we're looking at from an investment standpoint. Here in the US are investment clubs and funds. And this is really where added some additional details. One of the things that we'll talk about quite often, best practices, find, implement, and refine. So, ecosystem ways to invest. And this is actually one of the things that I've got over here talking about our clubs. So, anyway, going back to our subtab over here, one of the things that we're socializing is our We Own Pizza Club. And this is something that we're doing in coordination, collaboration with Pizza DAO. And one of the things that I'm wanting to actually do is to have a specific conversation here within the next week and probably target uh, Sunday after sometime on Sunday. But this is one of the things that we will do with Meet With. Let me actually go to meetwith.xyz. And let me make sure that I'm signed in here after the page loads. So I am signed in and my groups. So I'm going to create a new group and let me actually do that now. Let me make sure that I've got on here. Yeah, I do right here. So new group, and I'm just going to call this Pizza Club just to keep it simple. Pizza Club. All right, send email to invite user IDs, copy link to share. And here is that link, and I'm going to throw this in the live stream for everybody. This is the Meet with the XYZ group. And I'll put this here. Created Meet with the XYZ group. And we've got a new common ground. So let's go here to the We Own. This is going to be a We Own Pizza Club. And join the conversation. Yonks created a new Meet with the XYZ group. And we'll see here what that looks like. take off the meet with. Okay, so that should be a link there to the desirable join the conversation. We will have our first conversation on We Own Pizza Club. Here later this week. Later this week, targeting potentially Sunday afternoon, evening. And part of the reason that targeting Sunday afternoon or evening is so that we can socialize this via the Pizza DAO community call on Sunday afternoon or evening. All right. Send. Okay. So let's see, created. And there's also, I'll share that in the forum on Pizza DAO as well that we've got. And also, hey, I see a young scrimmage and Jade. Hello, everybody. Feel free to chime in some conversation here. But very excited on Common Ground. Let me throw in a link here to join our We Own Network Pizza Club conversations on Common Ground. And let me actually do, I don't have Discord open. Let me fire up Discord real quick here. So going back to the goals, let's actually scroll down. So we talked a little bit about the We Own Pizza Club, and really the goal with the We Own Pizza Club, or just a club in general, is that this is for people that don't have a bucket of funds to invest. And this is what I would say is a new wealth accumulation vehicle that we're really wanting to foster local cooperative ownership and as we continue to grow the opportunity to fork a club in any city or any town. And that's one of the things that will be pretty exciting. We're actually planning are having conversations around the new American dream with AI agents. That's one of the things here. There's another channel we own, Channel Dream, talking about this. And this is where we're looking to do a campaign in Boulder. And let's see, follow our new American Dream campaign. And this is a proposal that planning to create here tonight. I'm going to get the proposal drafted because this is something that we're going to socialize. Been having a little bit of conversations back and forth. And finally going to pull the trigger and get the proposal created on Pizza DAO. One of the things that was pretty exciting, and I think I still have the window open. This is something that we were working on last night during our American Dream campaign is our tokenomics wheel. And this is where we're looking to onboard new members in a $47. And I need to really update this because the on-chain bootcamp is free, not $47. So I need to make sure that that adequately is reflected so that people don't get confused. On-chain bootcamp is a free benefit that we're creating, and this is where looking to do a sponsorship from Pizza DAO, but then also create a circular economy model here with the Pizza Club. So this is still a very work in progress, but this is something that socialized or put some efforts on last night. So anyway, here's the Pizza Club. Let me make sure that I got the link in there. Oh, let's see. Here's the one for the American Dream campaign. And the reason that this is related to iLOCAL.fyi is, as you can see in our tokenomics wheel, iLOCAL.fyi is one of the ecosystem public goods that we're carving out a benefit within this tokenomics wheel for onboarding people into WeOwn network. So pretty excited to create those conversations. And here's the link to Pizza Club on Common Ground. And I'm actually going to copy and paste this here and throw this in. I think my Discord should be fired up. I'm going to enable stream mode real quick on this. Streamer mode enabled. And over here in the Pizza DAO Discord, so this is the in the forum. This is a forum post that created in the Pizza DAO Discord. So this is something discussing our forthcoming We Own Pizza Club during iLOCAL.fyi live stream. And I'll put this in the next post. So and I'm still working on what the meet with workflow looks like, but this is something, if you're interested in participating in this conversation, like I said, ideally targeting, so that would be Sunday, March the 16th. And this is something that I will socialize tomorrow during the Pizza DAO real estate crew call as well. So coming back to our Google Docs over here. So we've been talking largely about the We Own Pizza Club and the collaboration. I'm not even going to open the Google Doc here. And I think that this actually, let me do this here real quick. I think it actually redirects at pizza.weown.club, maybe docs. Let's see. I think I made it. Yeah. So pizza.weown.club. Here's that Google Docs if you want to take a look. Oh, that's still the other thing. Pizza.weown.club, Google Docs. Throwing that in the live stream for everybody. Okay, so coming back here, so funds. This is the portion of the document that have been working on the most here, and these are 5 funds that we are pipelining here to launch. And this, to be clear, this isn't an opportunity to invest. This is something that we're looking to do via a private placement, and we're creating the workflow as far as what that will look like. But this is showing our path towards launching the fund. And this is going to be a private equity fund using 31C. Let me actually just do a real quick search here. 31C fund. So what is 31C and how is the exemption applied? There's some stuff there. Here's some stuff on the SEC. Glossary 31C. A 31C fund is a pooled investment vehicle that is excluded from the definition of investment company in the Investment Company Act because it has no more than 100 beneficial owners, or in the case of a qualifying venture capital fund, 250 beneficial owners. And this is where we're looking to come in. A qualifying venture capital fund is a type of private fund that is excluded from the definition of an investment company under Section 3C1 of the Investment Company Act because it meets the following criteria: has no more than 250 beneficial owners, no more than 12 million in aggregate capital contributions and uncalled capital commitments, and qualifies as a venture capital fund. So this is where we're looking to be a qualifying venture capital fund. So not too complicated as far as the parameters go, and we're looking with how that we're largely primarily going to be investing in P token assets, property token assets. Categorically, I would say that that would be a tokenized fund because we should have an increased amount of liquidity in the underlying assets. But this is something that is, again, is a work in progress. So going back to the table, here are the funds that we're looking to launch through, and this is iLocal FYI is really the template that we're going to do like over here to open source templates and playbooks. So this is one of the things that we're going to be using, documenting, sharing with you our journey to create these funds. Because one of the things that I think is a very real opportunity is to create hyper local funds. When you look at like based here in Denver, there isn't any reason that we couldn't have a fund for the benefit of for Boulder, for Thornton, or for North Glen, or for Adams County. And when you think about $10 million is not that much capital, and really creating these hyper local dynamics. Because one thing that based on all the conversations that I've been having, is most people would absolutely agree when people are locally invested, and that's really the ethos of iLocal, FYI, is to create that hyper local sentiment where people are invested either time or money. And this is where money is a mechanism that we're wanting to use here as far as doing that. But also, we can never over appreciate the people that invest their time and donate to make their local communities better. So, talking about the funds, and this is actually something that I can just clean up right here because this is all stuff that's captured in the table up above there. So, these are some additional funds that we may create here later in 2025. But anyway, went through a lot of stuff. We're really just starting to begin the process for creating some collateral around these. We had a conversation with another attorney as far as really getting some of the framework in place. But I've been doing all the talking here. I don't know. Are you able to add to the conversation, Tyler? Not sure if.
I'm just driving right now. Yeah, I think it's all good. I mean, I'm excited about getting these clubs going and some of the camaraderie around figuring out what businesses we want to support and um, giving people a chance, the opportunity to buy into their communities.
Yeah, and it'll be real interesting to see one of the things. And let me actually go here real quick to back to the. This was a pretty solid post that I did here, and I'm going to make this bigger. Talking about uh, the initial P token offering, there will likely only be three ways to acquire P token assets, and this is directly from a P token associate. This is where we're looking to really fulfill the ethos as far as from a private placement. And this is one of the things going back that already mentioned. I'm going to bounce back there real quick again because best practices find, implement, and refine. So, really want to embrace best practices. And the thing that I'm really excited about this opportunity here is that we're really wanting to train and educate on one side of the conversation, real estate professionals that can assist in creating these shifts in real estate ownership from individuals into strategic cooperative ownership situations. And one of the things that's been resonating very favorably is around a hacker house. Uh, Tyler and I, we turned our place here in North Glen, North Denver area into a pop-up hacker house for East Denver. And we're really excited to turn this into a AI consultancy cohort and apprenticeship model, which will likely be a 4 month situation where we're looking to train, develop, educate AI consultants for our vertical AI agents. So, real estate professionals on one side, and then on the other side, the P token associates. And when you think about transitioning a house or a real estate asset from a real estate asset over to a fractionalized financial instrument, a P token asset. This is where securities licensed professionals and the real estate professionals will be able to really navigate that and serve their communities on a local basis. We've already talked about investment clubs, and then we own funds. And this is something, if somebody's interested in starting their own club, like right now, I would really advocate to join the club that we're having the conversation. This, as I mentioned here, clubs are limited to a maximum of 100 participants, and this is just to check what the SEC has already put forward. And let me just do a real quick search on that. SEC and investment clubs. So investment clubs and the SEC. Let me throw this in because I should probably just have this here. And I'll just add this here as a bullet point. So let's see where. So, for example, a private investment company may not need to register to qualify an investment club, must not make nor propose to make a public offering of its securities. And again, this is where we're not having any intention of doing a public offering. We're planning to do private placement and must not have more than 100 members. So these are the parameters that have existed for quite a while, and this hasn't been updated since March 20th of 2018. And all indications are is that these parameters haven't changed that much as far as the investment clubs and the SEC. So this is where we're looking to use this particular exemption on how we can operate hyper locally as an investment club here in the US. And I'm not sure what those things will look like on a global basis, but let me actually just consolidate these tabs here into that. So and we've been having conversations. Tyler can attest better than most how long that we've been having conversations about investment clubs. And one of the things that I think is I'm really excited about is to put account abstraction in place to make the to abstract away a lot of the technology challenges that we've had surrounding using on-chain technology surrounding facilitating and managing investment clubs. And then to bring that, like right now, we're actually live streaming this on our AI agents.box. This is one of the things that we're planning to create an AI agency for, is to make these investment clubs be substantially easier to launch and to manage in a compliant manner for the fulfillment of really fostering local cooperative ownership. All right, so one of the we're actually going to be creating the entity for these funds here, maybe as early as today, maybe as early as tomorrow, but it'll definitely be this week. Land Fund is towards the top of the list. One of the primary reasons for that is we're actually under contract to close on an opportunity that we're really wanting to be owned by the community. And this is one of the things that we're looking forward to onboarding investors, but then also cooperative members to fulfill more opportunities for ownership of real estate here in Colorado and globally. So, looking at some of the things that we need to do here on my other tab, and I'm actually going to create a new item here. So, update on Common Ground. I think I talked about Common Ground, Pizza Club. We've also created some of these funds. That's reflected again in the Goals tab. I'm not going to go through the list as far as all of these assets aren't in place. And this is something, Tyler, that we can take offline as far as just to kind of simplify the launching of these five funds in tandem here in March and April of 2025. And really what we want the web assets to look like as far as onboarding people into this. But this is a ongoing series of conversations. So anyway, Let's talk about discussing creating some updated social media. And this is reflecting the pivot that we had earlier from investlocal.xyz to iLOCAL.fyi. And one of the things that was the reason for that is that a lot of people don't self-identify as investors, so we're just kind of simplifying the dynamic and abstracting away invest out of the conversation, even though that's going to be a fundamental thing because I think Tyler and I can definitely agree the way that we can help people have get out of the poverty trap is through education, but then also creating wealth accumulation strategies that happen almost automatically. And that's one of the things that we're looking to do through our affordable housing situations. And I know that that's something that you're pretty passionate about, Tyler. Is that something that you wanted to share any thoughts on?
Well, mostly just realizing that when people own things, they communities change, they care. I remember a long time ago, thank you. I lived in an apartment building, and every election, no matter what it was for, the community trash would just be filled with ballots because nobody cared. And when you own something and you're in the neighborhood, then you care. And if we can give people a lower barrier of entry than they have, like right now, if you're trying to um, save for a $600,000 mortgage and a $100,000 down payment, and you're making like 60 grand, you're not ever going to get off the rental cycle. So just giving people a lower barrier to that is pretty exciting.
Yeah, and I think that that's like one of the examples that I like to use surrounding home ownership here in the United States. A predominant tool has been the mortgage. And one of the observations that I've made is that people don't necessarily love the mortgage as an instrument. And one of the things that I like to do as far as just amplifying that is just telling a story about imagine putting 100 people in like a basketball gym, for example, and say, okay, well, raise your hand if you're familiar with the mortgage, and most hands will go up. And then ask people to keep their hand up if they love the mortgage process, and then most hands will go down. So it's not that the mortgage has been a great tool for creating wealth. It's that, and it's actually a pretty awful financial instrument. I love the talking about paying a 30-year mortgage on time. If you pay a 30-year mortgage on time, it actually will take half or 24 years to pay off half of that 30-year mortgage. And that's one of the things that we're fairly certain that we can use tokenomics to create some of the benefits of home ownership without necessarily some of those burdens of home ownership. So, as far as moving the conversation forward, Tyler, on some of these funds, besides what is, from your perspective, the biggest need and opportunity around We Own Land Fund?
Well, do we? I know we've been talking to a lot of lawyers lately. Do we have an agreement or a founders agreement or whatever agreement that we need to enable that fund to be eligible for investment?
No, and this goes back to like I think the what do you call it? The founding member agreement that we've been talking about surrounding my IRA, the opportunity to really template that and use that as a template for and then you think about changing there. I don't think that there will be too many nuances between the land fund, the hacker house fund, the AI agents fund, like the qualifying instrument or whatever is the parameters in there, the core execution or the deployment of the funds will be about the only thing that will change I could see.
Okay, so we we've got an investment that we need to make in the legal, and then actually getting that generated. And um, I don't know if we want to use a link tree, if we want to build out a more UI website to describe some of the stuff, but just whatever our front facing tool is going to be, we need to get with, we need to get our lock set up with Unlock or however we're going to have people actually invest. And then we need to get KYC going with Synapse, whatever that needs to look like.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned Synapse here. Let me actually schedule a follow up with Synapse. And real quick, this is some useful piece of information. I'll open up this in a incognito window. Synapse is who that we made a decision to use our KYC surrounding my IRA, and this is something that we'll just plan on unless there's a compelling reason to change gears in that direction. Because the way that I understand this is that this is something that we can scale across our entire ecosystem, and the cost is done on a per KYC transaction. And I believe with my IRA, we bought 1,000 KYC transactions, and this is one of the things as we continue to ramp up our ecosystem that the cost will go down as we get more volume. So that's definitely something that we can look at doing. And one of the things, so yeah, so let me make sure that I captured that here as a follow-up. Schedule a follow-up with Synapse, um, our ecosystem KYC solutions provider. Okay, so I was just going through here real quick in this other window and getting the Twitter account created, the new one. And this is something that I'll take a look at and see if it makes sense. It might make sense just to roll the iLocal over. Let me just click next. We'll follow Forbes. So here's the iLocal FYI. Like I said, I'll probably swap. Let me see what invest local XYZ. So we only had 6 followers on the Invest Local. So I'll go ahead and just swap these around because that way we've got. I think I only did. I literally did one post on this, and this is just an opportunity for putting out to the universe. If somebody loves doing social media, here's an opportunity. We're still very much operating from a bootstrapping mode. We believe that that could change fast here in 2025, especially with leaning into AI agents. But for anybody that may be interested in contributing to social media, reach out, send me a DM on X, Telegram, wherever, Discord. My DMs are largely open. LinkedIn is also a good channel as well. So, and I'm going to put Yonks created a new iLocal FYI. And I'm going to put a comment in here on X. So do a username swap from invest local XYZ to iLocal FYI. Okay, so I'm not sure what the other things were, and I'll take a look. I'll go through and do an assessment. Create a we own fund link tree. And I think that's probably the easiest thing to do right now. Like looking here at Linktree, I'm fairly certain We Own Fund doesn't have anything on it, and We Own Fund is currently parked on the bun. So similar to how that we've been doing the other things, do a redirect here until we really find out what we want the website to look like. And this is something trying to minimize dev cycles and really use those dev cycles for creating solid infrastructure like account abstraction and our we own network token. Those are a couple things that come to mind. And Tyler and I were having some great conversations about getting our SOW and RFPs for that finished. So anyway, I'm going to take that as an action item here to create a We Owned Fund link tree to redirect from weown.fund. So it'll look like going to link tree, something like this. Create a We Own, a redirect from We Own Fund to Linktree. Need to create. All right, so we've got some action items here. What else, Tyler, is some things that we can do here? I'm going to get the right now, we're continuing to have these pre-launch conversations once a week on Monday, and this is something that we'll continue to have this cadence. I don't think that there's going to be any distracting travel and or events. Likely, the next big event that we will build towards is our consensus, but then also, we're working on getting this American Dream campaign launched, and I'm going to just make reference to that. American Dream campaign, and that's being tracked here at dream.weown.network, which is the Google Doc for that. So what's this right here? All right. Well, we only have less than 10 minutes left, Tyler. What else are we going to get done during today's pre-launch working group?
I am actually gonna have to hop off here because I am picking up our kids. So, um, to be continued.
You were coming in pretty choppy on that,
Back on
Tyler.
tonight at 9. Oh, I'm here at daycare, so I gotta pick up the kid. But are we back on tonight at 9?
Yeah, we're going to be doing our American Dream working group at 9 p.m. Mountain Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, and that's where we're working towards our launch for March the 20th here in Boulder. We've got the public library reserved for our first on-chain boot camp surrounding the We Own AI agents at Hacker House, where we're looking to have this conversation, the new American dream, AI agents, and also we own to bring cooperative ownership to real world assets. So looking forward to continuing to have those conversations, and it will become increasingly clear how everything weaves together. And a good example of that is our on-chain bootcamp tokenomics wheel. And like I said, I'm going to update this where it's not reflecting a $47 for on-chain bootcamp, because that's a free benefit as members of the We Own network ecosystem that we're building. But we'll be back for those conversations and continue to move the needle forward. We will have quite a bit more stuff done, I believe, surrounding getting our funds, and then also planning to have the first conversation, the first tangible conversation with a hopefully larger audience for our We Own Pizza Club here, potentially next Sunday, kind of is what I'm thinking, afternoon or evening on March the 16th. But I'm going to stop the screen share and go ahead and bring this to a wrap today. Thanks, everybody.